This podcast is brought to you by Knowledge at Wharton. For more information, please visit knowledge.wharton.upenn.edu.
Well, Raytheon is a $23 billion defense company all around the world, and we clearly are a leader in many areas of mission systems, and we really are not one of the platform guys. I think that's what makes a big difference there. And I run the Command and Control Systems product line that is part of the Network Centric Systems. And it's very interesting. We've been moving the last several years really out more into one, modernization. So FCS is a big part of my portfolio, as well as the Zumwalt DDG program. So as you look at the modernization budgets and what may happen there compared with reset, recap, as the Army, the Navy, the Air Force are all looking at, due to the war and the equipment that's worn out where they go, there'll be trade-offs that have to be made there. So we're constantly, from a strategy standpoint, looking in that. In addition, we've been growing internationally quite a bit into adjacent core markets for command and control, as well as adjacent markets for security, homeland security, command and control in those areas. We feel strongly that our core, is strong. We have to continue to be more agile, I think, as a business, so that we can offset and look at how the budgets are being crunched. If you look at Europe, many of those countries have severe budget constraints. So some of the international, we're looking at how we may offset those, but really focus in some of the key areas. Brazil's still going to have money, the Middle East still going to have money, Saudi Arabia, some of the other areas. So, well, I think everyone feels the crunch, so we have to look very much at how do we get more efficient. We're a very process execution-oriented company. We use Six Sigma, lean processes to consistently improve the way we do things, consistently improve productivity, especially on the software and on the manufacturing sides of things. How do we streamline? So we've been kicking off a number of initiatives across the board to bring those costs down, shorten timelines, especially on our fixed price areas. We're looking at our new business resources and how we allocate and chase work very, very carefully, so that we're sure we're investing it wisely. And my experience has been at larger organizations, there's always plenty of fat, let's call it, that you can find and seek out if you're looking to slim down. And so we are being very aggressive in looking at that. But we also need to be careful about our talent acquisition and make sure that we can take advantage of what's happening in many of the other markets that may have extreme talented engineers and leaders and strategic thinkers, to be able to bring those into our organization. I think this is a ripe time for this industry to take advantage of acquiring talent that's out there across other industries that can come in and help us grow. Very interesting question. We've been meeting with various consultants, various advisors that since before the elections, that actually represented the thoughts of what a Clinton administration might look like, what a McCain administration might look like, and what an Obama administration. And I think what we've all kind of seen is President Obama, leading into the elections, didn't speak a whole lot about the DoD challenges ahead. He spoke a lot about the war, spoke a lot about, looking at some of the big programs and those things, but they really didn't spend a lot of time understanding the challenges that lie ahead, I think, for DoD and for the industry. And so now we're starting to see the continuity with Secretary Gates is a very positive thing for the industry. And I think, when you look at it, it's going to be very interesting. I think right now we all have sort of our glass that we're looking at and trying to speculate where things are going to go. But clearly, healthcare are issues that the president has laid out, and in terms of IT and automation and those things. So we see opportunities there. I actually have a healthcare business, the SHIP program. We do a lot within the Medicaid, managing Medicaid for the various states. We do it in DC and looking at other areas. So that SHIP program, as it grows, we look at how we could take advantage of that. The threats around the world are serious, especially in the cyber world. So we see a lot of opportunities, especially in how do you do command and control within a cyber environment? How do you share information about network attacks? How do you apply that to protecting the critical infrastructures not just in the networks, but everything today is becoming more and more networked. I don't know about you, but I'm always home worried if my computer starts to lock up or get slow. What bot is on my computer? What's happening? Am I being hacked? And those kinds of things. So, I see a lot of opportunity in the areas where the president's come out in this administration and seen, particularly in our business, it may be a shift from our core, but it's certainly right up our alley of our capabilities that we can provide. It's a challenge. Certainly, we are a technology company. We have, our engineers, and I say that all the time. I've been with Raytheon now 2.5 years, and it's an engineering company. We definitely are innovators. We have some of the best technologies across the board, and we invest a lot of money in those technologies and in innovating those. But it's really fostering that creative thinking, that strategic thinking. I think sometimes that can become a challenge in a large defense company where you're always focused on earned value management, integrated product development, processes, all very process-oriented, Six Sigma. How do we, get in and follow and ensure that we deliver on time, on schedule, and under cost? And those are all attributes that are wonderful because we have to provide that capability to the warfighter. But at the same time, we've got to unlock that creative thinking of our engineers. We've got to have technologists that we're investing in to go off and do the big thinking. I mean, there's an area that we've been working on the last several years is in the counter IED. I mean, if you look at what's happening to these great young men and women across the board that are out there fighting for our freedom and for the freedom of others, it's really awful to see the injuries, to see the deaths, to see what's happening in those. And as there's a threat of IEDs coming even into this country or into other areas of more civilian life, we feel that there's a lot of technology and innovation that we, Raytheon, 72,000 strong and as an innovative company, can bring to bear. And so we're investing a lot of money in those areas, working with government organizations that invest in innovation, DARPA and JATO and across the board. So it's an interesting balance. I think what we try to do is get some of those folks off to the side where they're not necessarily so tightly coupled and constrained by our processes and get them to think outside the box and come up with the great ideas. I think it varies across the board, but we are definitely not a low-end, lowest cost provider. We definitely come in, we are very much mission assurance. Our brand is Raytheon, it will work the first time, every time. When you turn it on, it's guaranteed and assured that it's going to win regardless of the mission. And that's something our CEO has pushed down throughout the organization. We have mission assurance awards for our folks on a regular basis. And it's something we feel very seriously about because, when a soldier's out there putting their life on the line, they deserve to have equipment, to have capabilities that works every single time and the first time. So that's something we very much focus on: quality, mission assurance, cost, schedule, best value, if you will. And it's something that we do differently than our competitors in the top 5. Or we're not a platform provider, so we're not out trying to sell airplanes or vehicles or ships. We're providing the core mission equipment, the electronics, the software, the command and control, the communications, all of those pieces that make the mission work and make it work from end to end, sensor to shooter, from whatever those capabilities are that you need for the mission. So that's really our differentiation there, is regardless of it, we're not trying to sell a particular ship or a particular platform. It's the capabilities of the sensors, of the electronics, of the command and control. I would have to say culture, number one. If you look at the international landscape, and for those of us, including me, who grew up in this country and have grown up in the aerospace industry, primarily domestic focused with some ancillary international sales, and increasingly focusing in that area, it's learning the cultures. It's learning the pace of the cultures. We talk about low context versus high context cultures. And, when you go overseas and you meet with some of the people from Saudi Arabia, from India, from, various other cultures, they don't get right down to business right away. So understanding those nuances where we come in and right away we start wanting to sell them our capabilities or products and technologies, but understanding that we've got to get to know them first. We've got to build that relationship. And so that's a challenge. I think communication, languages, when people make commitments, what does that mean? Understanding work-life balance may be different across those cultures. And then time. That we have international businesses where we have pieces in Paris and pieces in California. That's a 9-hour time delta. When you're having a meeting, someone's getting up very early and someone's staying up very late. So just the logistics of it and keeping those people aligned and how you align, just given the time challenges and deltas. So I think as you move forward, the good news is it gives you more diversity, in the portfolio. It gives you more opportunity to grow. And it gives individuals who want to grow personally outside of our sort of U.S. culture, but understand the rest of the world in the bigger scope, tremendous opportunities. And I personally really love those, and getting overseas and meeting new people and learning new cultures, and most importantly, eating great food. And that is one of the markets that we've done several strategic acquisitions in the last year. We've acquired companies with expertise in very much discovering vulnerabilities in software, in going in and doing analysis of software, and we've put processes in place that enable, very similar to the capability maturity model for integration CMMI, but how do you build software in a secure fashion? How do you, from upfront design and analysis throughout, ensure that software doesn't have malware and it doesn't have viruses, et cetera. And so having ways to do that, ensuring that engineers aren't just out on the web. I mean, the open source push is an exciting push, and being able to reuse software, but you have to know where that software came from. You have to be able to ensure that it is secure and that it isn't loaded with malware or with viruses or with software that's going to be trying to steal our technologies or disrupt things that we deliver to our customers, most importantly. So we take it very seriously. We're building the capability from within to first ensure, as part of our mission assurance, that our products and technologies are assured from an information security, information assurance perspective, and then bringing that to our customers. How can we help them, in addition, protect their networks, protect their equipment, and do those things? So it's an area of growth, obviously, for everyone in the industry. Cyber is clearly a growth area we all see. And so there's challenges. You have to both defend internally, protect, and ensure that our processes deliver products that don't have security flaws and exposures there. So,
For more business news and analysis from Knowledge at Wharton, please visit knowledge.wharton.upenn.edu.